everyone, Ken here from Firing Demand Podcast. We're going to continue our series of pro tips for beginner podcasters, or if you just want to level up. This video is going to cover audio settings for your podcast. We've got 6 tips here, and then we're going to really just dig into exactly what we do here at Firing Demand Podcast and hopefully answer your questions and help you. We'll get right into it. When recording a podcast, it's important to pay careful attention to your audio settings to ensure that your audio quality is as high as possible. Podcasting is audio, right? That's just focus on your audio, high quality. Here are 6 tips for optimizing your audio settings for your podcast. If you go through each one of these, you're gonna level up your audio game. Number 1, choose a high quality microphone. The first step is to invest in a good quality microphone. It's going to help reduce background noise and ensure that your voice sounds clear and crisp. Now, here at the Firing Man Podcast Studio, we use Hale PR40s, and I'm going to put this up here. Hale PR40. And as you can see, the further I put that away, the sound goes away. And we're going to put a link in those in the show notes. So if you want to go grab one, we've also got a combo. I think it came with the pop filter and some other stuff. But these are, I believe we paid about $99 for these. They're very high quality. We've been using them for over 3 years, and they're rock solid. I also personally, in my podcast studio at home, I have a Shure MV7. That is my personal one. I believe I paid a little bit more for that one, maybe like $199. That one is also a very, very good mic. If you have a little bit of extra budget, and I would recommend splurging a little bit on that one. If you've been podcasting a little bit and you know you like it and you want to level up, go ahead and level that up. That's a good. If you're just starting out, maybe the Hale PR40s are good. And Amazon also sells bundles of these, the shock mounts, the broadcast arm, mic cable. We'll put the link in the show notes here if you want to go out in there and grab that. It'll be all in one bundle. Cool. Number 2, set your input level. Make sure your input levels are set correctly to avoid distortion. Good rule of thumb is to aim for input levels between neg 12 and neg 6 dB. And so we have all of our diagnostics, all of our inputs right here, if you can see it. This is I believe it's a Zoom H5. Let me see on here. This is a Zoom H6 handy recorder, and so this is what we're using here on the podcast, in the podcast studio. As you can see there, it has, I believe, 4 mic inputs. You can kind of adjust everything, volumes, all those levels. And so make sure that your input levels are set, whichever device you're using, neg 12, neg 6 dB. It'll get you dialed in, kind of mess around with there and see what sounds best. Pro tip 3, record in a quiet space. The less background noise in your recording environment, the better. Choose a quiet room to record in and avoid recording near noisy equipment like air conditioners or refrigerators. Also, people that are mowing your grass. So one of the things for me, it's always a running joke, is that anytime we hop on a podcast, the guy that cuts my grass decides to show up 10 minutes later. And so, if you have a schedule on that, just try to limit that. And also, find a quiet space. And also, if your space has solid walls, try to find a dampener. You can get those tiles. We have special tiles on our walls here, and we also have a large carpeting wall protector, and it also absorbs the noise, and it makes for a really great recording space. And so dial that in. Make sure your space is quiet. Make sure that the if you can, protect that noise from bouncing around in there. Get it dialed in. It'll sound better. Number 4, set your recording bit rate. A bit rate of 128 kilobits or higher is recommended for podcasting. This is going to ensure that your audio sounds clear and crisp without taking up too much space on your recording device. This is something we played around with a little bit when we first started podcasting 4 years ago, and really kind of dialed it in. But you want a really high, crisp, clear audio. And so make sure you kind of make sure that bit rate is set to as high quality as you can. Pro tip 5, use a pop filter. Now, I know I'm not using one right now, but this Hale PR40 mic has essentially a built-in pop filter to the cap of this microphone, and so um, we don't really need them. We had them. And for those of you who want to know what a pop filter is, this is a pop filter, and you probably see a lot of people. You mount them on the swing arm or you mount them on the mic, and the pop filter essentially just it dampens B and P. It'll dampen it, and so it doesn't come out too strong on your mic. And so we used them for a long time, and then I think one time we decided to take them off or they fell down or something, and we didn't really notice any difference. And so although they look really cool, if you have a high-end mic, they might not be needed. And so check your mic, test it without. We'll put a link to buy one of those in the show notes. It's also I think you can get it with the bundle. They're not very expensive, maybe $10. Awesome. Number 6, pro tip 6, test your recording before you start. Always test your recording settings before you start the actual recording. This will help you identify any issues and make adjustments before you begin. This is something that David and I do literally every time. We actually have templates now set up where we just open a template and it has all of our settings in there that's tried and true. Probably for the first, 20 or 30 episodes, we were always testing and modifying, and once we got it dialed in and we had high quality settings, we just kind of save that and we just open that template every time. And so we know as soon as that's going, we'll test the mics, make sure everything works, do quality checks and sound checks. Once we verify all that's working, boom, we hit record. And so the worst thing you could do is, fire up your setup in your podcast studio and then, go taping for, 30 minutes and then realize, one of your inputs are off or something's jacked up and you just wasted 30 minutes. So, take 30 seconds and test everything up before you hit record. It's going to save you a lot of time. But following these tips is going to help you to optimize your audio settings for podcasting and ensure that your podcast sounds professional and polished. You're going to get more listeners and they're going to stay. Hope this video helped. If it did, hit subscribe and like down below and check out more videos in the future. Thanks.